Sorry, man. I was trying to knock on a door back there, but you don't have a door.
Knock it down.
As we wrap up our last wild card game for Saturday, late Saturday afternoon, will be an evening game. Jacksonville Jaguars right now will be hosting the LA Chargers here coming up on this game right here. Jacksonville Jaguars right now, who deservedly so have a playoff game. This will be their first home playoff game they've gotten to host right now since their last playoff appearance, which was 5 years ago when they beat the Buffalo Bills in the wild card round before they went on to beat the Steelers, upset them in Heinz Field. Came up short in the AFC Championship game to Bill Belichick and Tom Brady and the New England Patriots right there, who would go on to the Super Bowl unsuccessfully for their sixth, but will get it the following season right now. Jacksonville Jaguars right now have been rolling high this year right now as we looked at it. And for the Jacksonville Jaguars, who've been having a lot going for them right now for everything, and just really just been doing an outstanding job here. I mean, under Doug Pearson, who came in a year after Urban Meyer, but they had an interim coach finish out the season for the most part. This is their this is their third playoff game they'll be hosting in their franchise history. Like I said, last time they hosted it was 5 years ago versus the Buffalo Bills right now. Do you remember last year they had Urban Meyer, who went 2-11, was not clearly in with this team, especially with rookie quarterback Trevor Lawrence, Clemson. Darrell Bevell came in there. He would finish out the season. He took him to 1-3, but as we know, Doug Pearson, he came in here right now. Doug Pearson, who, by the way, has only had 2 losing seasons in his career. Last coach with the Philadelphia the Philadelphia Eagles. Sorry about that. 2 years ago, which proved to be his last with the Eagles. And we would see Doug Pearson last. He would take a break for about a year and came back to coaching this year. So he's hoping to have the same chemistry and success like he did with developing Carson Wentz, only to bridge that to Nick Foles for a Super Bowl ride in that magical 2017 run with the Philadelphia Eagles, who was the best team in the NFC and had a great defense. Looking to see if we can do a similar thing over here or start building the tracks for it and laying down the foundation. Chargers, on the other hand, they enter tomorrow's matchup as a 1.5 favorite slightly over the Jaguars. This is their first playoff appearance since the 2018 season, and where they would be eliminated by Tom Brady and the Patriots in the divisional round. Now, that season, 2018, they were a wild card team. They did beat Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens under John Harbaugh on the road in Baltimore before being subdued to Tom Brady and Bill Belichick of the New England Patriots, coincidentally, which was also the Jacksonville Jaguars' last loss. Tom Brady as Patriot teams right there. Last time these two teams met was back in Week 3 of this season, which saw the Chargers get trounced in front of their home fans 38-10. They were outgained on the ground that game, the Chargers' run defense. They were outgained 151 to 26 yards and were -2 in the turnover ratio. The ground game was led for the Jaguars by James Robinson and Travis Etienne, who actually combined for 145 yards between the two of them off of 30 carries right there. Lawrence, he had a field day passing for 262 yards that day, 3 touchdowns while completing 29 of 38 passes in that game, by the way. And like I said, it's just been they're hoping to make that a little bit of a different statement in that game, because also, too, I mean, when we look at that game, too, Trevor Lawrence, who did quite he also had 7 yards on the ground off of 3 attempts. I mean, to defend, but still, I mean, it was definitely a field day for the Jaguars right there and their defense right there. I mean, and you look at like all the turnovers in that game, it was an interception and a lost fumble right there in that contest right there for the Chargers. Uh, Justin Herbert was responsible for all those turnovers in that game. Austin Eckler, he did not have the best of days in that game. Who turns out to be the leader as far as like scrimmage touchdowns this year when we look at it for all players going into this year. I mean, Eckler, I had him on my fantasy draft this year. As we look at it, Eckler of the Chargers right now, he led the league with 18 touchdowns off of scrimmage, and his scrimmage yards at 1,637 yards ranks eighth in the league. But he has been a touchdown scoring machine this year, as he's caught for 5 touchdowns as well as rushed for 13 on the ground this year. Austin Eckler has been proven to be the real deal at the age of 27. And we'll see right now. Now, a lot of pressure right here, too, is going to be on Brandon Staley right now. Brandon Staley, who's been having a lot of pressure put on him right now. And one of the guys that will be without for this game is their wide receiver, Mike Williams. He was out 2 or 3 weeks with a fracture in his back, sources say. The Chargers right now, who are definitely going to be really could have needed him because if you look at Mike Williams, I mean, what he's been able to do for this team right now this year, he was their leading receiver with 63 receptions, which is his 63 receptions on the team was fourth. He had the most receiving yards with 895 and the second most touchdowns caught, which was four, but he leads all receivers in that regard. Austin Eckler did edge him out by 1 touchdown, but as a running back, which he caught. And you got to look at it right now because you're looking for guys right now like Keenan Allen to help pick up the slack right here on this day right now. Keenan Allen, who ranks third with 752 receiving yards, has caught 4 touchdowns. And of course, tight end Gerald Everett right there, who's also tied with Allen for 4 touchdown grabs. Chargers fell 1-2 at that day. The only time that Brandon Staley in his coaching career was under 500. Also, too, to add insult to injury, that day, left tackle Rashawn Slater, he suffered a torn biceps in the loss, and he has yet to return. Also, edge rusher Joey Bosa suffered a torn groin. He missed 12 games before returning in week 17. And just show you like how important he was for this team. I mean, Joey Bosa right now, who is back. I mean, his relative of Nick Bosa. He's had 2.5 sacks, still managed to have 6 quarterback hits. There, he's only played in 5 games, started 4 this season. But the guy who's definitely been making like an impact on this team is definitely Khalil Mack, who started all 17 games. He's gotten 8 sacks this year. He's made a Pro Bowl this year uh, for his team. Did not make an All Pro, but as you look at it right now, the Chargers trying to see if they could follow in similar footsteps with the LA Rams, have a Super Bowl brought to Los Angeles in back-to-back years. It is looking very doubtful and very grim right now. But the Chargers, I mean, for the most part, I mean, listen, I think they're a team who've been kind of struggling a little bit on the road. I mean, when you look at them this season, I mean, still, They've been 5-4 on the road this year, only one game above 500. When you look at everything else, though, too, with the Chargers right now, I mean, like I said, everything that has been happening to them in the AFC, they are seventh in point differential with a +7 right now. Both teams finished solid as Jacksonville Jaguars were the first and only uh, team this season who started off 2-6. They were able to go 7-2 the rest of the way to make it by punching their ticket in the playoffs by beating the Tennessee Titans last Saturday in a winner take all for the division one game in the playoffs. They did that being Joshua Dobbs and the Tennessee Titans under Mike Vrabel's Titans in Jacksonville. So I mean, they are definitely ready to come roaring back right now. And their comeback too versus the Cowboys too, which was very notable, which they hosted the Cowboys. They were down by 17 points. It is the second largest comeback in team history. Their highest, I think, was 21 points. Jaguars' offense identity is rooted in a diverse, productive group of receiving options. Three players on the Jaguars' offense have at least 70 receptions this season, which includes receivers Zay Jones, number 82, Christian Kirk, number 84, and tight end Evan Ingram, number 71. Uh, or at least 70 receptions, excuse me, not number, excuse me. Marvin Jones, he had 46 catches on 81 targets. All four of those players are averaging at least 10 yards per reception. You also add in Travis Etienne, who ranks fifth amongst qualified running backs in yards per target this season. Lawrence is at 5 capable places to go with the football on any given down. And what we'll see. Key matchup to look out for this one will be Austin Eckler square up against Boye Aluakon of the Jaguars, who leads his team with 184 combined tackles right now for this season. We look at Boye Aluakon. He is currently right now the Jacksonville Jaguars linebacker. Seems to be like one of their inside linebackers as we look at it for this season. As the Jacksonville Jaguars, we'll see what they're able to run right now. But it's definitely going to be an interesting matchup here. I mean, I think a lot of people are looking at that, but I'm going to tell you what right now. I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars as a slight favorite. I'm going to give them a slight upset. I think they've just been clicking on all cylinders right now. They've been having a 5-game winning streak going to the playoffs. And to be honest with you, too, I don't really trust Philip Rivers a lot in like prime time games right now. I mean, not Philip Rivers, excuse me, Justin Herbert. I mean, he is, I think, a phenomenal quarterback right now. He is the only quarterback right now since Philip Rivers last take his game to the playoffs. But when you look at like a lot of his numbers too, I mean, what he's been able to do like under the prime time stage, especially this season. I mean, for this year, he has been 3-3 under the lights right now, for the most part. Their last primetime game came on Monday night a couple weeks ago when they beat the Indianapolis Colts to secure a playoff berth. That was 3 weeks ago. They beat them 20-3 in Indianapolis right now. So that's definitely going to be an interesting one right here. And also, too, I mean, one of the things to look at, too, for Trevor Lawrence, he is averaging 2.3 seconds from snap to throw on first and second down. He is the only quarterback getting the ball more quickly on early downs in that span, Tom Brady. And this has been an improvement since week 9, basically. And basically, the game plan for Doug Pearson to have for Trevor Lawrence was to keeping Lawrence clean and making things easy on the second year quarterback. The Jaguars are currently lean heavily on the run pass option game, which allows Lawrence to make simple reads and get the ball out quickly, particularly on early downs right here. I think, if anything, for the Chargers to win this game, they're going to have to play clean football right here. I think they're going to have a well balanced attack. I think it's just going to have to come down to right now. I mean, whoever could win the turnover ratio in this game, I think. So you look at it, I mean, these teams right now who are going into this and trying to Chargers, they're trying to get like their first playoff win in 4 years for this time. And the Chargers right now, they are in the top 10. They are tied with the Jaguars, +5 ratio. With it, the only difference is that the Jaguars have 3 more takeaways than the Jaguars do, but the Jaguars are turning it over 3 more times than the Chargers did, with 22 altogether. So if anything, I'm gonna look for this right now. I think if anything, too, another key to watch out for this still too. Talk about keeping Trevor Lawrence clean right now. I mean, you look at a savvy guy too, like Khalil Mack, who's been rarely in the playoffs in his career. I mean, he's their leading sack right there, who's their outside linebacker. I think he's gonna be a matchup for the Jaguars offensive line to guard against him right there. I mean, him and Morgan Fox lead the team in sacks at 8 and 6.5. He is their defensive lineman. We'll see what happens right there. But go ahead and give me the Jaguars in this game, and that will conclude Saturday's matchup for Super Wildcard Weekend. Tomorrow night, I'll be giving my previews for the games on Sunday, and then of course the remaining one on Monday night. As you remember, the rest of the schedule, we'll look at this for this weekend as we look at it. The rest of the playoffs too going into this. Sunday's games will be the Dolphins hosting the Bills at 1:05 p.m. Eastern. That'll be on CBS and Paramount Plus. At 4:40 p.m. Eastern, the Vikings will be hosting the Giants. That'll be on Fox and Fox Deportes. And then, last but not least, for the Sunday's matchup, will be the Bengals hosting the Ravens. The Ravens, who will be without Lamar Jackson officially, he is out. Definitely dealing with a high knee sprain right now, and he has announced on Twitter he's still not fully 100%. Remember, he's also in a contract year right now. He's been doing a hold-in this year. Looks like maybe Tyler Huntley may get the start. But I tell you what, the fun game is going to be on Monday night. Was going to be on ABC, ESPN, ESPN Plus, and ESPN Deportes when the Buccaneers, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers host Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. Micah Parsons, I would love to see how he does against Brady in that matchup. Tom Brady is undefeated versus the Cowboys, regular and playoffs, but we shall see. Once again, feel free to let me know your comments. Like I said, give me the Jaguars in this one, in this matchup versus the Chargers. I will say 17-14 will be decided by a field goal. Once again, you guys can follow me on social media at MetaSteelCGR and at MetaSteel Nation. Thank you for watching the MetaSteel podcast with your host, Charles Prodigy Richey, here on YouTube. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button. And for all the latest MetaSteel podcast episodes, feel free to download them on Mixcloud, Anchor.fm, and SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcasts.